This week has been a really beautiful week with especially two events that happened. The first one is the fact that Will Smith walked up on stage and slapped Chris Rock on the Oscar stage. I'm very sure that's no news. But I think the one that most people did not really get is where Ruger was sexually assaulted on stage. Most people didn't see that, I think probably because we were distracted by the whole, Will Smith thing. And if not because of even the slap, I'm very sure most people wouldn't even know that there was Oscars. Do you understand? Because I myself did not even, put so much attention on the Oscars until the slap came out. The slap was like a very good PR for the Oscars this year. But still, those two events has generated like a lot of emotions and, a lot of opinions. And through the emotions and opinions, I've come up with 4 things that we can learn from, these things that have happened so far. There are 4 things that we can learn, and I want you guys to stay to the very last thing. Why? Because it is extremely important for you to get those 4 things. Trust me, they are going to be of so much help to you, and I tell you, this video promises to be extremely interesting, educative, and informative. All my videos are always interesting and informative, so just make sure that you stick to the end of this video. But before we move on into me talking about the 4 things that we can learn from, these 2 incidents that happened. My name is Olayemi Dieko Daniels, popularly known as Dieko Spectre, and welcome to another episode of Dieko Talks Law. And if this is your first time of coming to my channel, then I want to say a very big welcome to my channel. Please make sure that you click the subscribe button. Make sure that you also click the notification bell so that anytime I release a video which is going to be of interest to you, you'll be one of the first set of people to watch that video. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Dieko_Daniels or on LinkedIn at Dieko Daniels. You can also send me a message if you wish. All your messages are very much appreciated. So yes, back to what we are talking about today. We are talking about the 4 things that we can learn from the slap that Chris Rock received by Will Smith. Now, for those people who have not watched the video, I think it's very pertinent for us to show the video. So let me just show you.
I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
So yes, now a lot of people have said, yes, it is a very right thing for what he did and all that. For those people who do not get the joke, because initially I did not get the joke. He was like, Jada, I love you, G.I. Jane 2, love to see it. When he said it, I was like, why is Will Smith angry? Then, and I don't, asked people for it, and then people let me know that she actually had some kind of ailment, which is alopecia. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it is where your hair, begin to fall off. And G.I. Jane 2 is a movie where the lead character, like the protagonist in the movie, her hair, she was bowed also in the movie. So when he said G.I. Jane 2, he was referring to, Jada, and telling Jada that she should act that, character where the lead actress there, her hair was, bowed. So he was trying to tell, Jada to do that. Now, so many people felt that the joke was insensitive. First of all, the joke is a good joke. However, the joke was insensitive, and because it was insensitive, I felt that, Chris Rock was wrong to have said the joke. Do you understand? I felt that if it's something that you want to say on stage, you have to be very sure that she's comfortable with it. That means you must have cracked that kind of joke, privately, and she must have chuckled or laughed or did not at least, take any exception to what you said. But, he came on stage and then he said the whole thing. And then this got Will Smith, because that's his wife, he got Will Smith really angry. Will Smith then stood up, walked up, and gave him a dirty slap. Oh my God, I swear it was really funny, because when I was watching, I said, I'm very sure that if Chris Rock was a Nigerian, you cannot go and meet his mother, because his mother will be like, so one guy later they slap you outside and you're coming back to this house. Oh my God, if Chris Rock was a Nigerian, he would definitely do his own back. You see these Nigerians, especially someone from Lagos, they would definitely slap their own back. But that is not what we are talking about today. And also importantly, because I'm going to be talking about each of these things, importantly, I want you to also look at the Ruga thing. Please look at the Ruga thing. Now, I want you to see what, the girl did to Ruga there. For those who are asking questions or might be asking questions whether or not that hand belongs to a boy or a girl, it belongs to a girl. We can see that, Ruga has obviously been sexually assaulted, right? No problem. Now, what is the first thing that we can learn? The first thing I want us to learn is the legal standpoint of this whole thing. That slap that was given by Will Smith to Chris, is it something that the law frowns against? And the answer is yes. It is clearly an assault. What is an assault? An assault in criminal law, not in tort. Now, for those who do not understand, under the law, there are certain actions that are criminal. Criminal means that the punishment for it is that you will go to jail or you will pay fine to the government. So there are certain actions that are criminal, while there are some actions that are not criminal but are civil or tortious. Now, you see those kind of civil actions, you don't go to prison for them. Do you understand? But you pay the person that you committed such tortious, act against, or civil wrong act against. Do you understand? So if it is a crime, for example, slapping another person is a crime and it is called assault. Where you assault another person, you go to prison. What are the elements of assault? That means what are the things that you must have done? Number one, you must have intentionally. There must be an intention. You cannot just mistakenly jam somebody and then the person is shouting assault when it wasn't intentional or reckless or negligent. So there must have been an intentional bam. You are intentionally hitting somebody. Do you understand that? Now, where you must, number one, have the intention. Number two, you must have had a contact. And such contact must be such that it is not justifiable under the law. Not that, because of what he said. Yeah, that's the justification. No. So in this case, was there an assault? The answer is yes. Normally, if Chris Rock wants to take up the matter, Will Smith will actually go to prison. Let us not dilly-dally. Let us not go here and there. That's straight. If Chris Rock wanted to take up the matter and file a complaint, Will Smith would go to prison. There is no defense because it happened in front of everybody. There is evidence. There's no lawyer cannot do anything here except the lawyer that is, I don't know what he wants to do, but trust me, this is what they call the fact speaks for itself. We don't need to prove. Just say, my lord, now here it is. Everything has ended. Do you understand? Now, in the case of Ruga, that is not just an assault, that is a sexual assault. Now, what then differentiates an assault from a sexual assault? The fact that you must have touched the person in a place that is deemed sexual or in a sexual manner. So places that will be deemed sexual if you are touching a woman obviously would be, her breast, buttocks and all other things. Those would be sexual assaults. For a guy, as you can see in this video, the fact is speaking for itself that, That is sexual assault. But you see, one thing, which then goes to the second thing that we need to learn. You know, the first thing is we need to understand the legal basis. And the legal basis is what is an assault. And I told you that an assault is where you had intentionally hit somebody and then you did it without legal justification. What is a sexual assault? Intentionally hitting or touching someone in such a way that is sexual without legal justification. So what is the second lesson that we now have to learn? The second lesson is this. Please, it is not only women that can get sexually assaulted. Please, men too can get sexually assaulted, because when they posted the video, I think I saw it on Instablog or something, either Instablog or Cracks TV, I can't remember. But when they posted the video and I saw it, I went to the comments and then I was seeing, hey, Jesus. Some people were saying, "I'm a man now. What it happen?" Some were saying, "You know, like in short, I wasn't so pissed until I saw this girl saying this rubbish. Now look at the video of the girl.
I'm not sorry for what I did, but I don't like the fact that everybody will just be cussing at me. I just hold something. I did not kill him. And if he's angry that I hold this thing, that he's not a good artist. Why would he be angry that I hold this? I don't even mean to hold this thing. Like, what I meant was I just wanted to like embrace it, but my hand just touched there. It was just a mistake, probably. It was a mistake. Please, nobody should curse me. Don't curse me. It was a mistake. Because if you're my shoe, you will do the same thing. I saw something. I said, let me hold it. Is it a bad thing? Is it a crime? Can't I hold it?
Oh Lord Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. How can somebody just sit down and admit to the commission of a crime and say it so stupidly and daftfully, and I don't know, how can you speak in such a stupid manner, in such a no common sense manner? You are saying, I touch him now. If I touch him and he vex, don't be good artist. What are you even saying? It doesn't even make any sense. You know, I mean, you can't sexually assault a guy and then he complains about it and then you're saying that, oh, you should be used to it. What was that? You know, it's just like when you pass Yaba, for those who stay in Lagos, and then they pass Yaba and those Igbo boys are dragging them. You know, that's the girls. I mean, those Igbo boys are very, very stupid. Let us not even lie. They are very, very stupid for doing that to girls. Because I think like girls would reckon to this better. You know, when you're passing that Yaba market side and Igbo boys are dragging you and indecently touching you. You know, not sexual assault. Now, you know, I've talked about three things now. I talked about assault. I talked about indecent assault and sexual assault. Indecent assault is when you touch somebody in a very indecent manner. It is not so much that it will be sexual, which means that it might not be in the regions that are known as sexual, but it is in a manner that is indecent. So, for example, you know, if they are touching your shoulder or your back, not tapping, which would be an assault, but it's, you know, such that they are rubbing it in an indecent manner. That's indecent assault. Do you understand that? So, you know, in that case of the Igbo boys, most of the things that they do, and I feel that they should actually really stop it because it's stupid. It does not make any sense. And most of the time when girls shrug and then tell them not to do it, you know what they say? Ashawo, they never taught you before. Why they do like, are you? You know, when some people should just act, I'm just tired. Is something wrong with you? Are you mentally derailed? I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? But still, in relation to this, I mean, the girl, I don't know who the girl is, but I think that somebody should talk to her. She should be spoken to. But some people are saying that it's cruise, that she wasn't actually the person who did it. I don't know if she's the person or she's not the person. But if she is not the person and she comes out to cruise a cruise of this nature, then again, something is wrong with her. Why? You are cruising while admitting that you committed a sexual offense. Can you see what is wrong with that? You are admitting that you committed a sexual offense that can land you in jail. We know that our police is irresponsible. So, I mean, almost everything is cruise in Nigeria. But it doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you are going to cruise is something that makes sense. Don't cruise is something that puts your life into jeopardy. Do you understand? Because, you know, one serious police can just see the video and say, hey, wow, beautiful, and picks up the matter. So cruise with sense. So we've gotten our first thing that we can learn, the difference between sexual assault, indecent assault, and assault itself. We've gotten the second thing that we should learn. Men can also be assaulted. It's not only women that you can assault, you can also assault men. And then the third thing that I feel that is very pertinent for us to learn, if you have gotten to this stage of my video, you are doing wonderfully well. I mean, that's good. Thank you so much for watching up to this extent. But now going to the third thing. What's the third thing that we can learn, or we should learn from those two series of videos? Let's start with the Ruger. I want you to see Ruger's expression when that thing happened. Ruger paused for about 5 seconds before Ruger decided to walk away. He paused and he looked at her. That is because I think that he has either trained his mind not to act impulsively. Do you understand? But to think before he acts. Do you understand that? Now, first of all, for those people who were saying that Will Smith, what Will Smith did is right and all that. Yes, if Ruger were to beat up that girl, what he would have done would be right. Because, I mean, he sexually assaulted him. And obviously he has better manpower over her. But do not forget that the way you act at the end of the day might be the deciding factor to whether or not you yourself are wrong or right. If Ruger had hit that girl, it would not have been a case of sexual assault. It would have been a case of men are showing their muscle over women. Do you understand that? Now, in this case, where Will Smith acted, what he was acting for is right. The fact that he was defending his wife, whom a very insensitive joke was said to, Will Smith was right up until the slap. How you act when people talk to you, or when people act, how you respond is what determines the test of your character. Do you understand that? It is not how you act in yourself. Because on a very good day, when I wake up in the morning, or when we wake up in the morning, we are happy, we go out and all that. That is not most times your character, or at least what you will be judged by. What you'll be judged by is how you act when people do things. How you act when life throws things at you. Do you understand that? So in this case, 1 second of Will Smith's life has been used to judge him, because now he's going to be termed a violent person. For someone to have done that in front of a whole gallery of people, people are going to term him a violent person. I do not know if he's violent, but that is evidence that he might be. Do you understand that? Now we are not even looking at whether or not he was right to have done it, because he becomes immaterial. Now, I want to teach you 2 things that you do. When you are faced with something of this nature, before you act, give yourself a 5 seconds break. Before you do something, don't act immediately or impulsively. Just breathe and give yourself 5 seconds and think. And after that 5 seconds, go with this rule. Do not do anything, say anything, or, act in any way if you are currently angry, or you are sad, or you are emotional. You see, in those 3 different circumstances, never act and never speak. Because words are like eggs. Once they leave the mouth, and once an egg leaves the crate and touches the floor, you can't pick it back together. That is the reason you do not talk when you're angry. You do not act when you're angry. So you see that 5 seconds I told you to have, that 5 seconds is for you to determine, are you angry? Are you sad about something? Or are you reeling from a loss? Do you understand? Or emotional? Are you sad? Are you reeling from a loss, or are you angry? Use the 5 seconds to determine. And when you've determined, what I would advise you to do, keep quiet. Or if at all the thing is so impossible for you not to act, walk out. It is far better to apologize after a walkout than to apologize when you've done something that is impossible to take back. It is far better. And if Will Smith had walked out, people would have, rallied around him and, supported him. But people, in fact, what are the consequences for his actions? The fact that there is a threat that his Oscar might be taken away. The fact that even the LAPD, that's the police of Los Angeles, they were at the door, and they said that the only reason they did not arrest Will Smith on that day was because Chris Rock did not give a go-ahead. Because if he had, they would have arrested him. So he risked arrest, embarrassment, he risked his award being taken away, something he worked for and he deserved being taken away. And he also risked being expunged from the academy, which he himself willfully decided to resign and come out from the academy itself before he will be expelled from it, embarrassingly. All because he didn't use the 5-second do not act rule. 5 seconds. And that changed his life forever. Because right now, in as much as we would like to forget what happened, we will always remember. So what then is our fourth rule? And I think this is the most important. The kind of friends that are around you is what is important the most. And then you'll be asking, where did friendship come into this thing? When Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, do you know what his friends did? And by his friends, I'm talking about Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington. They went to meet him and talk sense into him. And that was when he came to the stage to apologize. He said, Denzel Washington told me, which I feel is the most powerful thing that I've heard in my life. That statement, one of the most powerful statements. And that is the fact that you should be careful, because at your highest moment is when the devil comes around. Those are the kind of friends you should make sure that you keep. Those friends that when you are about to turn out of the right path, they tell you, brother, no. It's not the kind of friends that you just finish doing that kind of thing. They will not be hailing you. Yes, slap her. Go. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, those kind of friends are cool for cruise. But, in that kind of situation, I don't think, they are the ones that are perfect. So you have to look at the kind of friends that you have around you. Are these the kind of people that I really need to have? Because I think one of the reasons Tyler Perry apologized, because immediately after slapping, you would know that he did not apologize. He was saying, get my wife's name out of your mouth. That's why he kept on saying, get my wife's name out of your mouth. He wasn't remorseful at that point. So what would have made him remorseful was the fact that his friends spoke sense into him. And at least, even if, people are going to lash out at him, that apology which he made minutes after would speak on his behalf. And why did he apologize? At least in such an emotional way that he did, because his friends were there to speak to him. So you have to be really careful of the kind of friends that you have, because trust me, your friends can make you or they can mar you. You cannot do it. You can't do it alone. Trust me, if Denzel was there and he told Denzel that was what he was going to do, or he told Tyler that was what he was going to do, they would never have allowed him. It's because they didn't know. So you need people to put you in check. I want to teach you more rules in relation to this, but because of time, I don't want to take so much of your time. I just want you to get the lesson. And I hope that you've gotten the lesson. And these are things that I tell people who are like mentees to me. Do you understand? I always make them understand that you don't flow with the crowd. Don't do things because other people are doing it. Look at what Chris Rock did. He was slapped and he did not react. And because of that, even where Chris Rock was wrong, it seems more like favor turned to him. Because people were then saying that, he was, assaulted on stage. So, be careful of the way you act. It's very important. Be careful of the people that are with you. It's very important. When you are angry, when you are reeling from a loss, or when you are sad, those are the 3 times that it's a bad idea to alter any word from your mouth, or a bad idea to do any positive act. At the very least, keep quiet. And at the very most, walk out. That should be your rule. And you should take 5 seconds to determine. So when something happens, don't just walk out immediately. Process it and then determine, is this the time where I keep quiet? Because if you're in a very important meeting and someone insults you or something like that, walking out would not be a good thing. Keeping quiet would be better. But if it's something that you can walk out, then you should walk out. In that particular stage, I felt that Chris could have done three things. He could have either stayed there and be quiet and forget that happened. Most people say no, strike that out. Okay, then he could have walked out. Some people say no, that is cowardly. At least he would have, when he was receiving his award, come on stage and reprimand Chris Rock. That would have been a better thing to do. I mean, go there, tell him that he was way out of line, tell him that people should not be laughed at because of how they are, because that is their medical illness. They should not be laughed at, or a joke. In short, people will stand up and clap for you. Beautiful. And that would give you more respect and give your wife more respect than what happened. When I used to talk to my mentees, I tell them, be the bigger person. And then most of the time, they say, she bigger person. No, I know they do bigger person again, Dieko. They frustrate me. And I'm like, no matter how the frustration is, no matter how terrible it is, I am still working on myself. And I feel that you should always work on yourself. In fact, you would not know how good you are in working on yourself, in reacting to things, until somebody does it to you. So when they are doing it to you, it is a test. Do you understand? Because I myself, I'm currently talking like, no, I know everything and all that. But I don't know how well I can handle it. I know the 5 seconds rule. I know the do not talk when you're angry, reeling from a loss or sad rule. But I don't know how well I can handle it until somebody does it to me. And then when somebody acts in a very irritating manner, what do I do? Do you get? So until somebody does that, you can't tell how good you are yet. So when those things happen, in fact, at this point, I think they happen to me, and the first thing I do is even smile. And I think smiling to me is like a defense mechanism. I just smile, and my smiling is my 5 seconds. I try to look for what to do, how is the best way to handle it, and stuff like that. And most of the time, I've seen that 90% out of the rest, I walk out. 90% out of the rest, I just walk out. And I think that is better. Do you understand? But I mean, I'm open to what you think. What do you think? First of all, do you think that Chris Rock should have done that? Do you think that there were better ways to handle it and all of that? I would love to know that in the comment section below. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you click the notification bell, and make sure that you follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn at Dieko_Daniels in my Instagram and Dieko Daniels in my LinkedIn. I would love to have a conversation with you. I will see you later. Have a very beautiful week.